So much stuff under here. Clear some of this out. Oh, you got it. Yes. Some new things will be happening starting today, okay, because I kind of want to go in a new direction. And one of those things will be, I have to open the blinds. Okay, there we go. We're getting a little bit of light in here. Oh my goodness, is that the clear one? Sweet. Okay. Now, good morning. If I didn't say it already. So, what's gonna happen is, way back in June, I had a group of people who had a little bit of learning behind difficulties, and I was teaching them different math concepts day by day, so I really want to get back into that. I really want to pick up and resume where I started and then where I left off. Doing that if I can. Let's see here. So that's that. And then the other thing is, I was thinking, because over at the academy, I can understand that you all taking classes, different history or science classes that I originally planned way back in December of last year. So I completely forgot about that. You know that you're doing it in addition to, being here at the event and all the meetings. And because it's around that time, I thought that I would be teaching a little bit of the history that you would. It's only volunteer if you want to be here, and we'll be doing a couple activities and reading and studying on the American Revolution. I will be having the group sometime at, maybe this afternoon or sometime later today, later this morning. I really don't know when, although we have been practicing Aladdin right on the lesson, so we'll be heading over to the headquarters, and we'll be recording Aladdin. And also, I want to get to Hanging Tree with you today. Okay, and then also, so Hanging Tree, and then there's another song that I think that you might like as well. It's called Both Sides Now, and it's sung by Helena Bonham Carter. She sings it really beautifully, so we'll probably do that. And I think that song, and also the whistling in the dark will make a very, very fine addition to your A Picture Perfect Hollywood Heartbreak, musical song soundtrack that you did. So I want to add things into that because I think that the idea around it is very, very creative and very interesting. Because it's supposed to be kind of dark, but I want to change up a couple of things and make them a little bit cleaner and more appropriate and less rated R. And we'll add those songs that I find that I think that would go well with that into the soundtrack. Okay? So we already added Whistling in the Dark to that particular thing, and we used the same picture, the Zach Allison Picture Perfect Heartbreak with that same image on there. So we recorded that. We're going to be going over. I think maybe this morning, since we're all ready, that we've learned Aladdin enough that I think that you're 100% on that. That this morning we'll go over and we will record that, and I have asked a couple of other people to sing the other parts of the song. So that'll be really, really exciting. So it will be really fun. So just remember everything that you need, just the music, and then get yourself ready and everything, and I'll do the same thing. So that's going to be going on, as well as Cancer Club's meeting. I'm going to be having that meeting sometime tomorrow, actually. I don't know when necessarily. We saw the Super Nanny episode, America. I just did not want to film it because I found it kind of embarrassing. And also, in a couple days' time, we'll see the Super Nanny Great Britain. Okay? Now, I wonder if there's anything else that I wanted to do. Oh yes. Some people have been telling me about the chicken noodle soup making. We'll probably see that in a couple days. And then Hygge. We're probably going to I'm going to get more into that when this cancer season, because, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I have to say about it. If there's a sign that I don't have in my natal chart, then it's going to be a repeat of the opposite sign, or a sign very, very similar that I did have in my chart. So Cancer season repeats 2 times in 1 year. This is the first time in the astrological year, and then Cancer season is going to happen again from late December through most of January. So we're going to talk all about Cancer, and we're going to talk all about Hygge at a time where we turn towards Cancer. When it's winter time and we want to snuggle up and we want family to be around and comfy home and everything. So just Cancer really does not fit the whole summer, just the summer idea. So Cancer season now, and we're also going to have Cancer season in the winter time, and then Taurus season's also going to be from mid-October through most of November, and that goes with the next season, which is Leo season. I'm probably going to have just a mix of things going on. I might have Aquarius Clubbers come in for several meetings. I might have the Gemini Club is because I really was busy at that time and I just didn't get into what I wanted to get into. So Gemini Club is will probably be having meetings and we'll delve into the book of Gemini. But I don't know. Um, it is disappointing that I don't have the signs that I want in my chart, but you can't change the way that you were born. So, anyway, let's see here. Let's see. Now, we're going to see the horoscope today, just like, we should, okay? And what I also want is, you sang that song that you were famous for. What's it called? She don't know. And we're going to be recording another version of that, but, a different version, more of an appropriate version. And some of it is going to be featuring the little melody of Scooby-Doo Crystal Cove Mystery Incorporated. And it goes something like this. I'm just going to play it for the whole Minton. So, it goes something like this. I'm trying to find the right chord right here. So this is what it sounds like. So it goes something like this. It's really pretty. So we're going to be including that as well with that song that you did when we get to it. I think that would make a really fine addition to it. Because I think that the melody and the whole story behind it's really, really good. But, I want to be able to listen to it without listening to something, all the things that I told you. So, I know that that's, your song and that's something that you worked hard on to create. And I don't want to, ruin it just because of, certain things. I want to change it around, but keep it kind of the same as well. So anyway, I have to get things hooked up for this horoscope, okay? And I want you all to wait. Alright. Okay, now, we're going to get set up here. You know how this works. So, find a place to sit and we will start watching the horoscope for today. And then I want to go over the natal chart. Since I completely forgot about that and we didn't go through it in the past. I want to go through it now. Let's see here. I think that we can all see it, so it'll have to do. Okay. So today is July 16th, and the moon is going to be in Gemini. So it is July 16th and 17th. Did I say June? Well, Gemini season's coming up here, so.
July 16th and 17th, Thursday and Friday, the sun is in Cancer and the moon is both sides away in Gemini. These two together, I have a good friend that has this. They're such good communicators. Why? Because Cancer gives the emotional content and Gemini gives the courage to talk. Well, Geminis could talk a lot. So if you put them together and you've got verbal skills are present. It's such a good skill set. And Mars is in Aries, that's supporting that moon in Gemini. Gemini and Aries get along great together. But here's the interesting thing. The sun is in Cancer opposite 3 planets. If a baby were born with just one, and let's start with one, Saturn opposite the sun. I had this when I was born. Tremendous discipline. So Thursday and Friday, we are positioning ourselves to have discipline. Pluto opposite the sun. This one I don't have. That is a major invitation to a soul that in this lifetime they're going to go through transformation. So if you have a strong Pluto in your chart, Pluto represents power, change, and not taking anything lightly, like making sure you bulldoze and you change things and you really make this life serious. So now we have Saturn, the disciplinarian,
That's
Pluto,
also
power,
Saturn.
and then we have Jupiter, the extra special sauce, making it all bigger because everything you put Jupiter on expands everything. So this is a very intense. If someone were born this Thursday and Friday, July 16th and 17th, they would have a very strong spirit who came in with a very strong sense of will and leadership, because Cancer and Capricorn are all about cardinal energy. And the moon in Gemini makes you want to talk about it. So the good news about a baby with this is moon in Gemini is the impulse. Moon is your emotions. This will be true for all of us Thursday and Friday. And Gemini is the communicator. Talk about your feelings. Typically, Cancers tend to hold it in. And the quality of holding it in makes them gain weight. They don't speak to what they're feeling. They try to buffer or puff or put protection around themselves. Moon in Gemini goes, no, just say it out loud. You're pissed. You're scared. Verbal diarrhea, Moon in Gemini, at its worst. Saying things and talking overtime and not having an off button. It's useful in a time like this, because when you speak and you say to your friend, I'm going to talk, don't answer me, don't fix it, I don't need any advice. I just need to dump. And then once that moon in Gemini energy is released, and you've got this powerful opposition between Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter, that allows you to say, you know what? I see what I just said wasn't really all that true. I just needed to say it. My observer's on. This is all astrology is about. I'm watching myself, and I'm realizing that I am really being negative right now. But I had to dump. Because you cannot bypass the spiritual problem with all this new age stuff is we talk about everything's wonderful. It's not wonderful. The moon in Gemini needs to say it, and then the power of those 3 planets opposite the sun say, now, where's the discipline, Saturn? Where's the power, Pluto? And where's the added flavor of making that super big Jupiter to say, I've complained, and now I'm coming back to center. And that's the art of Cancer at their highest level. They know how to release the emotional content and then come back to equanimity. Astrology Answers wanted me to tell you, Cancers are the most evolved. In esoteric law, Cancer is the sign that if you can master the emotional body, you don't have to reincarnate. I think it's so interesting. Dalai Lama is a double Cancer, and he said he's not reincarnating. He's done 13 lifetimes in a row in this flavor of being so emotionally honest and authentic. And if you can do it without holding back, and you can use that moon in Gemini to speak about what you're feeling and not hold it in and block it and try to pretend, that authenticity makes for health. It makes for beauty, because we love nothing more than a human who's real and takes negativity and lifts it up. That's your job. Astrology Answers wanted me to tell you, use the moon in Gemini to talk. If you need a good astrologer, we have a lot on our site. We have people that can help you listen to what your negativity is and reframe it in the context to your soul. If you enjoyed this...
Okay, that was really nice. And also, that was really, really well done. So Sun in Gemini, Moon in Cancer, Sun in Cancer, Moon in Gemini. So Sun in Cancer, Moon in Gemini. So, obviously Cancer is really, really quiet, introverted, very emotional, and then Gemini is very light-hearted and very witty and childlike and very talkative, so it's a nice countering. So the interesting thing is about astrology is that bonding, those 3 terms, and actually I'm going to write them down on the whiteboard. So I bet that you didn't know this, like you didn't know that there was another element tied into science. But I'm going to go over 3 terms that you might have not heard of before, but I just want to go over them with the whole mention, just as a little thought for the day and new learning on astrology. So those 3 words, I just want to real quick write them up here on the board for you to see. So in astrology, as you know, there's all of the different signs and all of the different elements, and they get along in different ways. So one of those ways to get along is through bonding. So bonding, obviously, just coming together, really resonating and connecting and having a lot in common and going off each other and having a wonderful, very smooth, great friendship. So bonding is 2 or more signs that are very similar to each other that get along. So in astrology, bonding elements, fire and air, or fire and fire, or air to air. Fire and air, they come together and they bond because they're very they're different, but they really go off each other. You know how that gets along. So Aries and say Gemini are bonding because they, and as I said, have a lot in common, get along very well. Aries is, wanting to get out, adventure, be independent, do things, experience things. Gemini always wants to, needing stimulation, just like Aries does, always fascinated by so many things, and so that's why I say bonding. And then comes the next term, which is complementing. And I'm going to have Deborah go over these a little bit more in depth, if you can. But so complementing, well, obviously, zodiac signs in astrology, Aries and Libra, they are complements. They're 6 away from each other. I have it in my chart, and you have it as well. So complementing. So, one sign has what the other lacks, basically, and they come together in that way. They have something in common, but they're very different, but in a way that they can come together. Just like, say, caramel and bacon. Bacon's really salty and meaty and really delicious, and then caramel is very sweet, and so they complement. The sweet and salty complementation pairs so well together. So that's kind of saying, Aries and Libra. Then there is countering. So countering is to say Aries and Virgo. So looking at Aries and Virgo, that would be countering. Countering is not between bonding or the same. So countering is not between signs of the same element and signs of that bonding element, signs of the other 2 elements. So Aries is a fire sign, so it can be countered with a sign from either the water category or the earth element. So countering, they don't have a whole lot in common because they live life and see life differently, because they're very different zodiac signs for all the reasons. But they come together because they're so different. They can go off each other and influence each other. So, for example, another countering combination is to put a Gemini with a Capricorn. Now, these signs are very different, and they the real lessons that they can learn from each other. Capricorn can learn from the Gemini the lighter and more fun and fascinating, wondrous side of life, and then the Gemini can learn from the Capricorn that we need to focus, ground down, commit, discipline, as Deborah said in the horoscope. Let's see here. Creo and all of those things really grounding it down, and then Capricorn can be kind of a cold, cold-hearted, too realistic sign, so it needs somebody to lighten it up. And Gemini just kind of goes all over the place and a little bit fickle. And it's childlike, which is a really wondrous, positive thing, but, too much of one thing is a bad thing, and you need those other elements to balance and counter it out. So, I'm going to use an example from my family, okay? My grandpa is a Taurus sun with a Virgo moon, so double Earth, and Taurus rising, I don't really know. But he has a lot of Taurus in his chart, and only one that's the missing element, or the weak or lacking element. I think that to say missing element, because it's very, very unlikely for somebody to be born with a missing element, like Donald Trump had no worth in his chart, and he's the U.S. president. I wouldn't say missing element, I would say weak, or just weak element. So weak element is an element that you don't have a whole lot of. Like, my grandpa doesn't have a lot of ale in his chart. He does have mostly earth, some fire, couple water, but no ale. So that's kind of unbalanced. That's kind of the lessons learned from astrology. If you're missing a weak or one element, then you need to try to practice that element and live like that element. So people who don't have any or a little fire maybe need to do things like travel, or record videos, or listen to music, drink, all those types of things. Earth missing people, plant something, clean, organize, make a plan and orient, and try to learn how to approach life more practically. And then people with not a whole lot of ale, struggle with things like communication skills, so needing to do things like communicate, maybe reading, or journaling, or writing songs, or making videos, all those types of things. And then water is a real struggle with feeling emotional, so needing to tie into that relaxed emotional state. So countering elements. So a countering element to earth is air. Countering element to earth is air. And any sign can get along with another sign in some way or another. And these are the ways. Some can get along great because they have a lot in common and they just come together and just bond and click. Some complement one, like the opposite signs, like really, really opposite. And even if those two signs that are not opposite, they would still complement. So Gemini, Capricorn, they would complement each other for being so different. And then that goes with the countering thing. So I would recommend that someone who lacks an element in their chart, or is weak in that element, needs to be in relationship with somebody who has either a lot of it dominantly in their chart, somewhat more than them, or is a sun sign of that weak or lacking element. So someone who's, say, dominant earth, let's say, they would bond really, really well with someone who is also, like, very, very earthly and practical like them, but too much is too much is too much, and it also makes life not very interesting and not with a whole lot of spice and pizzazz and everything. So someone who doesn't have a whole lot of ale maybe needs to be in a relationship with the fire sign or an air sign, or somebody who just has a lot of ale in their chart, generally. So that's really what I wanted to say about that. So those are the 3 different types. Now that we're talking about astrology, do you have anything that you want to come up and talk about these 3? Okay. So I just want to leave these up here. Now I want to move on to the natal chart here for the Minton guest. Well, the Minton person now.